Hey guys, Big Ed here, and I am with,
Mark Lassagne from Bass Angler Magazine.
what do you know? We're out here on Berryessa today, and we're going to come to you. We're going to give you a bunch of information. You can watch us fish. We're going to actually just make this into a video, a day of fishing. I'll edit it. It won't be super long, but I'll edit it out, make it a good video for you to watch. We're going to do some stuff on the Angler app, so you can push your button every time you see a fish. We're going to do some stuff on the AquaView. We're just going to have
there.
Oh yeah,
See what's really down there.
we're just gonna do a bunch of different things for you guys to see, get some great information on how to fish this lake and all the lakes that you're gonna fish anywhere in the country. So the stuff we'll give you today should be really good. Mark, you know, you've got 20 years of experience. We're just talking about that. So coming out here, you've been using these AquaViews for how long now? I mean, they've been.
I've been with AquaView for 3 years now.
Okay.
And it's really just opened my eyes when so many times, like in the Delta, you go along and you see all these fish, down there, and then or here in the lake, you go over a point, you see a bunch of fish down there, and you lower down there and try to catch them, and
Right.
they don't bite, right? So what's going on? What are they? And you lower it down, and there's a bunch of carp down there,
Right.
or catfish, or something different. Or maybe sometimes I lower down, and there's been a bunch of bass there.
Right.
So then you got to try to refigure how to catch these because those fish are down there. Sometimes they just don't bite. That's just the way it is. But at least lowering it down, you have a really good idea of what's down there.
Well, today we're going to go out and we're going to show you some of that. We'll have some video from actually what's going on when we see some fish and just a bunch of other good stuff. A lot of experience on the boat today, so we're going to go out. We're going to see what happens here on Berryessa. Thanks for tuning in. BassAnglerMagazine.com.
BassAnglerMagazine.com, yes.
Okay. Big Ed Fishing. You know where to find me. All right, guys. See you soon. So here we are, we're starting to move down the lake a little bit. And Mark, what are we kind of looking for as you're, this is basically going to take this as a pre-fish day or any day you're going to go out. So what are you kind of looking for here when you're looking at your screens and break some of this stuff for guys who don't really understand some of these electronics? What are you looking at here?
What we're doing right now is we're launched and we're driving out of the 5 mile an hour zone. So we're just trying to get an idea of what today looks like, what the fish are going to be doing. It's kind of a different day. Yesterday was shorts and t-shirt, 80 degrees. Today we're having a high of like 62. So it's a big change. So we need to figure out where these fish are and what they're doing. So what I'm doing is I'm driving out, I'm going up over these points. So this is generally where fish will be located, is on the point. So I'm looking on the points and seeing how deep they are first, right? And then I'm seeing if there's a bunch of them bunched up or actually where they are, and then what kind of points are they on. Is we can look at the screen here and we can see that this is a fairly hard bottom here, where it's real tight, right? That line is real tight here, and then we have this line before the hard bottom. This is the bedrock down here at the bottom, and this is the little area here, and this is a little bit softer. So fish like a harder bottom, but they do get on the soft bottom, especially if there's bait around. So we can go over this point right here where we were. There's a few fish down here deep, but really on that one, not much. There was one point back there, there was some fishing like 30 foot. And if we look out around, we can see this is pretty much all dirt. So I think there's not a lot of fish on the dirt here. I think the more fish are up where there's going to be some more rocks. So we're going to look for some more rocks, some more cover. We're going to go idle across some points that have a little more rocks.
Fish on. Got up on one of these points with a little bit of the. Oh, I think you got me. Oh, you had me. Oh, I wasn't away. That's a nice spot right there.
Yeah, it is.
That'd be a good one for a weigh-in.
Pretty fish, huh?
Yeah. Frenzy nail with a Z-man on the back of it. So nice. Spotted bass, not bad.
Fishing a really high percentage spot, Main Lake Point, that goes off into a cove. It's one of those points that comes up to a little shelf and then drops off, and we're sitting right back on where the drop-off is and throwing it up on the shelf and dragging it back.
And I'm snagged.
So what we did is we pulled up on this shelf, threw out, and I caught one. And so a lot of times what will happen when you catch one, you'll excite more of them. They'll get excited. Like sometimes you'll see them chase them in. But what happens is that fish get excited, you can throw up there again and catch another one or two.
If you don't get snagged and then have to go get your bait back. Rookie. But there's so many on the screen. I don't know if the screen's looking down on the screen, but we're just seeing a big, there's just a lot of them right here on these points. And I'm throwing the drop shot out just to see if I can get him to eat that bait fish. And there they go. And I can. So there's one. Look at that. As on cue. Spot, nice little spotted bass. On the drop shot, right in the nose where he's supposed to be. Gorged full of shad. His whole stomach's full, and plus he's got shad hanging out his throat. So they're down there. Well, they're getting them. Not a great one at all, but hey, if you're out here goofing off, having fun, catching those is fun. Now here's one of the really neat things that happened when we got some aquaview footage, and I noticed that the fish were all sitting about 8 to 10 inches off the bottom. So I was fishing this about 6 inches off the bottom, and I changed it up, and now I'm 10 to 11 inches off, and I'm right there putting that bait in their mouth, right in their face. So just dropping this thing down now, that's sitting right in their face. So that aquaview was allowed me to completely change the way I'm fishing this thing. So that's a great reason to own that. Gives you those, you can kind of see where they're relating. When you're looking at the screen, it's great that you see them, but it's not always that exact. It's, they're 32 feet, maybe. Okay, well, they're 32 feet. Well, are they 2 feet off the bottom, or are they? Well, when we dropped them down there, we were seeing them at 35 feet. But what I noticed was they were about 10 to 12 inches off the bottom. That makes a difference on where you want to fish your bait. All right, cool. Well, we got a good one on. Jumper. Might be a smallmouth. Well, we got a double. There it is. I haven't turned yet. Oh, there you go. Oh. He decided to pull up on it. He decided he wanted to be a bigger fish. He ain't.
A smallmouth.
Well,
here, we're going to put him on the angler app.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. We just pulled up onto this spot, threw out. He catches a largemouth. I catch a smallmouth. Here's where the angler app really comes in. He hits his button, hits it twice. It marks 2 fish. Takes a picture.
Take a picture. Let's see.
Here. Whoops. We're going to go both of them. Do it. Your camera's up here. There you go.
Oh, so we're going to use that one.
Toss your fish back.
And then we'll mark another one. We've got 2 here.
Put in your weight, put in everything. Boom, now you know. Hey guys, well, we're back out here. Sorry, this is going to sound a little bad. Wind just came back up. Wind's been up all day long. We're out on Berryessa. But you know what? We had a great day, and we just flat out caught a bunch of fish. I think the angler app said 23. I don't think he pushed the button when I caught fish. That's all I got to say. But, we did. We came out, Mark. We had a good time. It's a beautiful day out here. It was cold, which is so nice for right now. We're going to need it. Some storms look like they're rolling in. The wind was at 20 miles and probably plus a couple times a day.
It was blowing hard most of the day. You know, it was one of those things. We kind of came out here blind, fall fishing. We wanted to show you guys kind of really the here and now to catching fish. We didn't stage anything. We didn't plan it ahead. We just kind of went out here, went fishing. We ended up catching 22, 25, 28 fish. I maybe didn't hit the angler button a couple times. Who knows? They were on Ed's fish, I'm sure. But, you know, we tried a lot. We caught a fish on a lot of different things. So I want to just go over the things we caught them on real quick. So first off, Ed was throwing an A-rig. I was throwing a jig. So we're kind of covering both worlds. I'm throwing on the bottom. He's covering the middle of the column. I was throwing a green pumpkin Yamamoto spider grub. So just a standard bait for any spotted bass.
For this time of year, for sure.
For sure. And I caught him 20, 30 feet deep.
Right.
You got a few bites on the A-rig. We actually got 8 or 9 bites on the A-rig.
Right.
Only caught maybe a couple.
I think we ended up only catching one on it, but did get quite a few
8 or 9
bites.
bites.
All day long. Got bites on it. Just never hooked up except the once.
Right. So hindsight, maybe we would have changed up the baits a little bit, changed the color, changed the size down. So, but we didn't. We just stayed with it and tried to catch it. We were getting bites, so it was fun. So another bait. When things kind of slowed down, I'm going to say midday, we weren't getting any more bites on that, but the wind came up really hard. So we keyed in on points going into coves. Those are really a high percentage place. If you know me, where I like to fish, that's one of the key spots I like to fish. On those coves are the points going into the coves. And what that does is funnel all these fish from the main lake that are moving back into these coves. They're not all the way back there yet. They're still up on the points, and they're moving back in as the bait moves back in. Yep. So today there was a lot of wind blowing in. We caught a couple of key fish on the S-waver. So the wind was blowing so hard you could barely throw the thing, and you could throw it up and let it come back. So we got a few on that. Then when things slowed down a little bit, wind kind of dropped off a little bit. The sun came out, so things slowed down a little bit. We went to a shaky head in about 20 foot of water, moving it real slow.
Yeah.
And caught quite a few that way. Then near the end of the day, we found a couple of schools of fish, and we dropped spoons down, we dropped shaky heads and jigs and all kinds of stuff down.
Right.
Really had a hard time catching them until we switched up to the river to sea diver vibe. So this bait falls, it's pretty heavy, but it falls real slow, and it has a nice flashy tail. You can put another hook on it, but we liked the extra flash. And you lower it all the way down the bottom and just kind of lift it up slow. They didn't want it moving real fast like a spoon, so we lifted up slow. We caught a number of fish, about 8 or 9 fish on this, and a couple of really nice spotted bass.
Yeah, actually, I think our biggest fish today ended up coming on that bait.
I think so, yeah, about a 3-pound spot.
Yeah, about a 3-pound spot came on that. Yeah, and when he wasn't doing that, we found some on the AquaView, dropped down, and I got him on the drop shot, and we got him on. Gosh, I'm trying to think anything we didn't get him on today.
A couple on shaky head.
Shaky head, dart, everything. So the frenzy nail, and that frenzy nail, it made a difference because of the way it presented that bait and the way that we used it. It was just that was what he was using for his. He wasn't using a regular shaky head. He was throwing the frenzy nail. I was throwing the frenzy nail, and we were really catching a lot of fish just because of the way that thing really presents the bait. But it was a great day today. It was tougher in the wind to throw that and feel it. But, we were both using really good rods. He's using Okumas. I'm using Phoenix. And, we're the sensitivity, the line, everything we were using, just great. So it worked out really nice today. It was a great day to be out here,
It was a good day, yeah.
It was a good day.
First day of really, when you get into fall, it was cold all day. We had to wear thermals. Yesterday we were in T-shirt and shorts. Today we're in thermals and jackets. So
yeah, I just froze. So I'll be honest, I froze out here, so it was cold. But yeah, so I hope this comes out great. I hope you really enjoy the video, and thanks for tuning in. You can see it on BigEdFishing.com. You'll be able to see it on the Big Ed Fishing YouTube channel and on BassAnglerMagazine.com.
BassAnglerMagazine.com, and should be on the Bass Angler Magazine YouTube channel.
There you go. So we'll have you covered pretty much everywhere, and you'll be able to see what we did, how we did it, and it was great fishing with Mark, and we had a good time today. So we'll see you again next time.
All right.
Thanks, guys.